And the aim of my presentation, as highlighted on the screen, introduction. I'd like to start off this presentation by sharing with you the quotation of military genius Sun Tzu, 500 BC, in The Art of War. According to him, if you know yourself, know the enemy, the victory will not be at risk. But knowing the terrain, the natural condition, and the victory will be total. But now, we're not talking about the terrain, we talk about geospatial. And it's more challenging, and the military need to understand the whole spectrum of the battle space in order to win the war. In terms of, I'd like to highlight a bit on the organization chart, and there was a connection between the UK and the Malaysia in the past. The Directorate of Military Survey, British Army, has actually transferred the authority of mapping to the Directorate of National Mapping back in 1975, and it was approved by the Cabinet at that time. And you can see that the red box showing the structure of Directorate of National Mapping at Jupum, and basically the Director General of Survey and Mapping also appointed as an honorary colonel, and in the Regiment Askar Jurutera Diraja, being the Director of National Mapping for military. And that's why you can see the bahagian Geospatial Pertahanan was formed under Jupum, and the organization was filled up by Malaysian Armed Forces, cadre personnel, and as well as civilian organization, civilian staff. Right, this is the what is called the driving force that seeks us to transform the way we did in the past. This is the desired outcome of the Malaysian Armed Forces Transformation Program. They call it Malaysian Armed Forces in the 4 dimensions of warfare. This transformation plan aimed at empowering the military as an integrated force by integrating the sensor, the weapon system, as well as command control system. And subsequently, MAF has launched the project or the program called Network-Centric Operations in 2010 to provide MAF with such capability. In terms of geospatial information requirement, and basically these are the basic requirement, we can see that the geospatial requirement comprise of common operating picture that we can see that vector, high resolution on imagery, as well as 3D, high resolution on the 3D. This is also used for collaborative decision-making process, and they use NGIS tool for decision-making. And for the users is for common operating picture, mission environment, intelligence system, decision support system, and resources. And next, I'd like to highlight what capability that we have developed so far to meet this requirement. Jupum has developed what we call Defense Geospatial Information Master Plan in 2010 that we call a UGEO for Defense. U means ubiquitous, means everywhere. The philosophy of the program is to move away merely delivering a paper maps to a proactive systems that place greater flexibility in the hands of users to ensure the delivery of the right information in the right form at the right time. And during this development, we have taken a holistic approach to develop a capability in which all aspects of new capability are considered and coordinated to ensure that a fully integrated and effective solution is delivered. And you can see all the bubble or the 9 bubbles, and in the middle we focus more interoperability. make sure that whatever we do produce outcome. JUPEM activities on geospatial to defense are actually governed by Defense Geospatial Committee, and it was formally approved in 2017 last year in May. And we have a Defense Mapping Committee that was formed in 1981. So you can see that the chairman is the MAF, National Armed Forces Chief of Staff, and the advisor is Honorary Director of National Mapping, who is Director General of Survey and Mapping. And the rest are members comprising services from land, Air Force, and as well as Navy. In terms of system capability development, the government has been funding the project, the initiative, since RMK9. Currently, we are at the transitional capability that now we more focus on defense geospatial information management. We understand that we have done a lot of initial capability, interim product capability. It's a time for us now to really provide an enterprise platform to support defense apps. Logically, this is a logical concept. As you can see here, it's a broad spectrum framework through which entire MAF organization can be linked through various geospatial data and services. And Geospatial Operations Center, you can see in the middle, would serve as a one-stop center and will be able to serve various needs of national armed forces. And we have deployed ArcGIS portal as an enterprise platform for managing geospatial information collaboratively. And these are some sample of what GIS service that we have developed together with the user. We developed several apps for them, and once they're familiar with, we handed over the operational to them. And this is another capability to print map on demand, and we produce various team maps as simple as on the screen. In terms of providing geospatial support in the field, we have a mobile system. As you can see a truck down there. It's important to support most of the cases. We support offline support where you can't access to internet. And in the field, we are able to do management geospatial in terms of geospatial data management for copying data to the virus-based system, and also do updating data in the field. And we also able to produce various rapid response products. And the important is to provide the terrain analysis that the module as shown in the screen. There are 10 modules altogether. This is the main module that is required by the armed forces to operate. We were grateful to be involved in the mission critical so that we can validate the capability that we have developed. This is the Ob Daulat. We've been there, and you can see that we have produced various products. And you'll be surprised to see that the 10 modules that we have developed, very little we use it, and the rest more on the ad hoc requirement on the spatial analysis. Something that they have a spatial problem, we have to solve the problem. And we are also grateful to have received support from JUPEM Sabah and JTU Sabah, as well as Jabatan Pertanian Sabah for the information. We also involved in the mission, SAR mission, or MS-370, where we support the Air Force Command Center, or we call it POR2. This is some sample. And as well as to support, to work collaboratively with PHN to produce a web service for to support the SAR mission. So if we found that information from the internet, we capture it and put it where roughly the locations. of the STAR mission. We also have this experience on how collaborative effort can enable the shared situational awareness quickly. This disaster happened when I was in the US to attend the Esri user conference together with the former CEO of Esri here, Mr. Lai. So here, during that period, we managed to seek Esri Inc. assistance, where they managed to pull out all the expertise that attend the conference, such as Esri response team, and as well as Airbus defense and space imageries. And we were able to produce various web map applications to support our Air Force staff in Malaysia. So in just a week, or less than a week, or just in just 24 hours, we managed actually to produce 10, more than 10, but in the week we managed to produce 28 in very quick as a collaborative manner. We were at different locations, but still work in one map. And this is some samples. If you want to know the story detail, you can browse this tagline. And this valuable experience has actually influenced and inspired us to exploit ArcGIS portal for collaborative effort for sharing information. Now I'd like to share with you some of the activities towards information superiority. And we actually have some of the project previously called IDPC. And we found that this SOP need to be readjusted and need to actually meet the need of map operations. And there's a need for more relevant, accurate, and as well as timely information. And we have to prioritize our strategic plan for data production. Basically, we have already developed the ETL that can transport all the information that resides in MS 1759 to our data model. But unfortunately, the data that we receive is not complete. So we have to find alternative. And we have identified the stakeholders that actually the owner of the process. And at least we know who is in charge on what, and we can collaboratively populate the information through service-oriented architecture. We also involve ourselves with military exercise just to understand better how they do the operation. Otherwise, we come up with the perceived need other than actual need. In terms of managing human capital development, you can see that we have divided into 4 types of users category. Now we focus more on tier 3, which is at BGSP JUPERM, and also we work closely with RAJD in creating a geospatial trait. This is very important to have them to have this trait so that it can solve the career path for them. And lucky enough, we managed to submit the paper, and hopefully by this year, we should have the trait approved by the Malaysian Armed Forces. We also focus on training people who get involved with our DGIM program, like my staff, Mr. Yap, conducting a course at Instone. And we also conducting DGIM course at our premise to support upgrading. This is the course that we conduct at Institute Kejuruteraan Medan. That's for preparation for the geospatial trait. This is the example how we conduct an HADR exercise with very ambitious outcome. We just go to the field and experience ourselves. If there is a requirement, can we set up a common picture in the field? And this exercise was fully supported by MAF and NATMA.
Ada 5 minit lagi, Tuan.
Roger. And we also able to apply the knowledge from Esri Inc. And we don't have to do a lot of things. We just exploit the knowledge that have already developed by Esri Inc. and apply to our local data. We also implemented the SOA activity with the A-source system. You can browse the airsource.my. The big data analytic for predicting a flood in the UK has been successfully integrated with our web maps, where we are able to view the modeling, the knowledge, the simulation of flood modeling in our web map. This is some of the example. One of the medical officer that attended our exercise. Now they start demanding how to deploy in the system. So we trained him and he managed to install the application. We also managed to create a prototype for developing web GIS for Ox Murni based on the outcome of the training, the exercise we did. We're going to present to the Panglima Medan, hopefully by this year, and to prepare for the Ox Murni for next year. And hope he will approve for the integration part to their SOP. In general, Defense and Security Agency share common operating picture for most of the case. And therefore, we have expanding our services to support ESCOM as well as MKN. You can see that the portal can be viewed at ESCOM and MKN. This is the ArcGIS portal that has been fully utilized to support upgrading. We provide the platform to MKN and grant them the authority to manage the web. So they have the authority to lead the collaboration effort. This is another example how the MKN is able to work collaboratively with other stakeholders. And information management with the security agency also is being carried out. And we work closely with the CGSO office to validate the location of key point, restricted areas and places. We hope to introduce new ways of working on the same map, and both parties would benefit out of it. This is one of the required application. Conclusion, the bottom line is that the geospatial information that is relevant, timely, and accurate, that underpins a common operating picture is important to support a decision superiority. I would like to stress to share the Esri tagline, working smarter together with national and international partners in finding a new way to create and maintain the information using SOA. There's going to be a new way of managing information spatially in the future. And the training and exercise is very important to improve the sharing capability. With that, I end my presentation, and thank you very much.